Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laju. I'm sure you've seen the title of today's video, so I'm going to skip the introduction and get right into it. On second thought, I changed my mind. Like, guys, we hit 1,000 subscribers. Woo! I mean, that is worth celebrating. I heard those voices in my head saying, Dana, it's not a big deal. You don't have to announce it. But guys, like when it happened, I guess I had kind of gotten over it, but it's still a big deal, you know. I mean, we have to celebrate our wins, big or small, count your blessings. And as tempted as I was to just make it look like, oh, it's not a big deal, it is a big deal. And I'm grateful for all the new subscribers. I'm grateful for your likes, your comments. Thank you for subscribing. I see you, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, so now we can go into today's video proper. Yeah, as you can see, we are still in our new home. They haven't changed us out. It's not a dream, like it really happened. And this whole journey started about 4 months ago. So I'm going to be sharing with you how we got our first house, our mortgage as first-time buyers. I know I've shared this video before, but I interviewed someone and the video was quite long. I had a couple of people saying, can you just summarize the video? So I'm going to keep this as short as possible and get straight to the point. Are we ready? Okay, so like I mentioned in my previous video, we had a vision board. It was something we wanted, we wanted to buy a house in 2021. Even though it looked like how, is it possible? We just decided to dream. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with dreaming, because if you really look at your bank accounts, you wouldn't even dream at all. You wouldn't go for it. You just be waiting until it happens. But we decided to dream, and I think that's the first step that you should do. I mean, if you have like $1 million or you have a lot of money, you don't really need to watch this video. Just go ahead. I mean, once you have money, see, the rest is easy. Like, they just need your money. The people selling the house just need your money, and that's it. Like, but there's an entire process involved. But if the money is ready, every other thing, hopefully should go smoothly, as long as the money is legal and it's not, fraudulent or something like that. So anyway, we had a dream, we had the vision board, and that was it. We continued our lives normally. We didn't really think much about it. But one thing I did that my husband may not even know was I registered on a lot of websites, like developers' websites. There are a lot of developers from Barratt Home, Taylor Wimpey, just a couple of them, just so that I can see the new houses around me, because we wanted to buy a new house. We didn't really want something that people had lived in. I mean, we've been renting for so long and we just wanted something that was new and fresh and minty, So we wanted a new house. So I registered, and I usually got alerts around us. So there's a new house here, there's a new house there. But it didn't mean anything. It just made me know what the market around me was, just to, compare the market and have an idea of how much houses are around us. Anyway, last year, if you follow me, you would also be aware that I traveled. My family and I, we went back home to celebrate my dad's 80th. And for us, that was like a big deal. Like, we really wanted to be with family and celebrate. But it felt like we can't go to Nigeria and buy a house in the same year. It's like a lot. Like, where... like, I wasn't even like walking like that. Like, if you watch my video, you know that I just started walking last year. So last year was really an amazing year. Come to think of it, like a lot of milestones were achieved, and I'm so grateful. I thank God for that. So when we came back from Nigeria, we just felt like buying a house is not priority right now. Like, how it will happen, I don't know. Like, and we just moved on with our lives. But I still had the house thing in my mind. So I told my husband one beautiful day, I said, let's just drive around just to see the new builds and just to see where the houses are. So I went on the popular websites that sell houses, that rent houses and sell, Rightmove, Zoopla. I just got a couple of postcodes. I noticed that we didn't really have a lot of new houses around us anymore, because where we were living in a new build area, but they only had like 2-bedroom houses left. So I thought, okay, we can't get a house in this place anymore. We even went there. I remember we went there and they were telling us all about, oh, you need to speak to our mortgage advisor, blah, blah. But we didn't bother because we felt like, we're about to travel to Nigeria. This is really not priority. So we just closed that chapter. Okay, I feel like I'm talking too much, but just follow me. I'm going to share how our journey, and I'm going to explain the process at the same time. I hope that works. So once that day we decided to just go around, and then we went to like a neighboring town. We drove around and we saw beautiful houses. Like my heart was like, pum, 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 pum. I was like, oh my God, this is really nice. I would love to live in this area. You know, we drove around. So, you know, when we looked around, we saw the offices of the developers. So we went in, we told them, oh, we're first time buyers. And most of them would say, oh, do you have an appointment? We said, no, we just decided to come out to see what's really out there. And they were nice enough. They'll give you their brochure and they'll tell you, oh, book an appointment and have a chat with us, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, we just went around and we collected so many of those brochures. You can, and those things are really amazing because when you open them, you can see different types of houses, the floor plan, everything. So you can really choose what you want. So my husband and I had talked about the kind of house we wanted. You know, we had said we wanted something that had 2 floors. You know, we wanted a 4-bedroom. We wanted a detached home. So we already had an idea of what we wanted. We were on the same, you know, we were on the same level and on the same frequency in terms of what we wanted. I wanted a kitchen that had an island, so that was something I wanted. I also wanted one with a utility room. So we had those little things in our that we had spoken about. We went around, we collected those brochures, and another thing we noticed was, guys, like, people buy houses at foundation level, like before there's even anything on the property. We were driving around and some areas, nothing, just the bare floor, and they were putting sold. And I'm thinking, sold? Like, there's no house. How do you even know what you're buying? And I think that's where the floor plan and the brochure comes in. Like, you can already see what they will put on the land before you, like the entire property, how it will look. So you can just buy it like before they even start building. And I was so amazed, like, people had bought these houses without any, you know, without foundation or anything at all. So many of the developers we saw, they were like, oh, sorry, we don't have anything left this year. I mean, this was September 2021, yeah, and they were telling us, oh, by next year they will release more plots, but the houses will not be available until maybe May, June, July. Most people, when I was thinking, for me, I just felt like, oh, that feels a bit far. I wish we could get something sooner. Trust me, I didn't have the money, but I just really desired it, and I think that was it, just desire. So we moved on from there. Then I remember we saw one, they were like, oh, we have exactly what you want, but someone else is trying to buy it. And we thought, oh, really? But they told us, oh, the couple that wants to buy it, they need to sell their house first. Like, if they can sell their house, they'll be buying it. But if they can't sell their house, their reservation ends on Thursday, and then the house will be back on the market. Should they call us if the house is back on the market? And we were like, oh yeah, you can call us. I mean, we didn't have Shingbai, remember? Sorry for my use of language, but Shingbai means like we didn't have nothing. It's just a slang for those of you that don't know Shingbai. So it means like, okay, if the house is back on the market, what does that mean? Oh, you can reserve it. And the lady was so kind. She told us, you know, you can look around, look at the show home, and we did. And I think when you look at those show homes, your dream just comes to life. You just see yourself like, oh my God, I can do this, I can design this, it just made it made it feel real. So we thought, okay, yeah, what if they call us? So she told us, do you have a mortgage advisor? We said, no, we're first time buyers. We have no clue about how to go about this. And she told us, okay, our mortgage advisor is free. You can give him a call or he will give you a call. And we got back home, we called the number. Okay, let me just backtrack small. So before we left, on our way out, we saw another office, and we were thinking, oh, we haven't been to that office, but we were really tired and hungry by then. But we just thought, let's just ask for their brochure or something. So when we got there, the lady was on the phone and she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in a meeting right now. The lady told us, oh, I'm in a meeting. Call us if you like any of our houses and we can talk. But she also told us that if you have any houses left, that the next set of houses will be available March, April, I think. But she said, oh, we have just one house left on the market. But apart from that, are you okay to wait? And we're like, oh yeah, we're okay to wait till next year. I felt, oh, that's even better than June, July. I mean, if we can get something in March, April, it still feels, you know, earlier. So we moved on. So we called the mortgage advisor. So now, if you're buying a house, that's like the first step. You know the house you're buying. You need to speak to a mortgage advisor. And trust me, I think they're all free, at least so far. All the ones we spoke to, they were all free. So you don't really have to spend money on that aspect. Now, we called the mortgage advisor for the first house that we saw. I still remember the name of the house. So I will not go into details. And I think he called us. I can't remember. And they will ask you a lot of personal questions, you know, about your finances, your salary, where you work. He sent us a form. My husband filled it, pay slips, everything. We sent everything. You know, your credit, your loans. They just want to know, you know, if you can afford to pay for the house, like your mortgage every month and all that. And by the time the guy called us back, he said, oh, I'm sorry, you're not eligible, you know, for the house. it was heartbreaking because if you are eligible, they will give you what they call decision in principle, which is like, yes, these people can afford the house, let them go ahead. And he was telling us, oh, you know, you have to look for something cheaper or look for a 3-bedroom. And I just felt like, so it means like this our 4-bedroom dream will not happen. You know, it just made it kind of sounded like condescending, like you have to look for something in your category. And I was like, oh. So we just felt sad, not like we had the money, but we, you know, we had this kind of hope somehow, because 2020, 2021, there's been a lot of, you know, incentives when you're buying a house, 5% deposit, NHS discount, so many things like that. So my husband was just like, hopefully we can get one of those that would be helpful. Then I remember that we also went, the last office we went to, which I mentioned, that the lady said she was in a meeting. So I thought, oh, you know what? We also saw exactly what we wanted. We saw a 4-bedroom house, which was even cheaper, you know, in their own brochure. So I told my husband, why don't we give them a call, you know, just to find out if we have to reserve a house for April next year, that's fine. So we called the lady and we said, oh, do you remember us? And she said, oh, yeah, she does. And we said, oh, we like one of your properties, the Lumley by Persimmon. So yes, Persimmon Homes, we moved into a Lumley house by Persimmon. And we said we're interested in that, if, you know, we can reserve for next year. And she said, oh, funny enough, they still have one property left, and it's the Lumley. That would we be interested? A couple of people are looking into it as well, but it's whoever reserves the property first. And somehow we felt hopeful again. Like I said, we didn't have the money or anything, but we just felt like, you know what, everything that we have right now, if we put it down, we should, you know, be close to at least 5%, you know, do some extra shifts and hopefully, you know, raise the money. So we just thought, oh yeah, we're interested. My husband went there the next day. He went to reserve the property, but before then, he also asked us that we need to speak to their mortgage advisor. And the guy, we called him, or he called us, and, you know, he asked the same random questions, the same financial questions. We filled their form, pay slip, everything, loans, credit, they will ask you everything. And the guy called us back and he said, congratulations, you are eligible for the house, you know, you're getting a decision in principle. And we were excited, like, oh my God, this is really happening. At that moment, it still didn't feel real, but it just felt real. And that was when I just realized that, wow, we're buying a house this easily. Like, maybe we used to overthink the process. It just felt like, to buy a house, I don't know, but I couldn't just believe it was happening like that for us. So we said, okay, you know, the next day we went ahead and we reserved the property. So my husband immediately started telling them, this is very impromptu. To be honest, we had not planned this, that, you know, the reservation, can it be longer? Because they said the reservation was for 6 weeks. So we told them to raise, you know, 5% or in 6 weeks is like, it's going to be a lot. And they said, oh, they'll see how it goes. Next thing they asked us if we had a solicitor. So you need to have a solicitor. And we said, no, we don't have one. We're first time buyers, completely clueless. They told us, oh, we want them to recommend. And we agreed. We said, okay, you know what, let's use their solicitor. My husband was like, you know what, there's no point going to look for anybody that if they have people they use, it will just make the process easier. So we said, okay. We agreed. They recommended 2. We chose 1. The solicitor got in touch with us, started sending us documents, we started signing. They were mostly online, so we're signing things online. They also asked for a statement of accounts for 3 months. We sent everything. So by the time we did all that, we kept on waiting. So by the time we did all that, the reservation date was getting nearer. By then, we entered, you know, work mode. Like, it was hectic. We were working extra shifts. My husband was working hard. But we told them, can we get 5%? And sadly, they said the bank would only give us the mortgage if we are dropping 10%. We thought, okay, we spoke to the developers as well. The developers were like, because it was the last house on the market, and they were not giving any incentives because they had gone ahead to furnish the house. When I mean furnish, they have not the table and chair kind of furnish, but they had put the flooring, they had put the carpets, they had upgraded the kitchen. Now, I didn't realize this. When you're buying a house in the UK, most of these houses, they come completely bare, like nothing. You don't have rug, you don't have carpet. You don't have to like pay another extra to have any additional thing. Do you get? So they had done these basic things. You know, they had put in the oven, they had put in the washing machine, the dishwasher. They had put in a lot in the house already. They had done the flooring, like you saw, their flooring, everything was already in place. So it was a decision whereby I didn't even get the option to choose because they said they had already bought these things and they were telling us the house will be ready, you know, in 1 month, October. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Are you telling me we can move into the house by next month? Like, is this a dream? And I was like panicking, excited at the same time, like, oh my God, this is really happening. So for that reason, they also insisted on 10%. 10% again. So we said, okay, let's see how it goes. But at that moment, I was telling my husband, maybe we should just withdraw. How is this? But he just believed, he just said, you know what, let's just keep going. He'll do more shifts, he'll do this, he'll do that. So we threw ourselves into full work mode. And I remember the day the reservation date came, we called them and said, our reservation ends today, but we don't have the complete money. And we will not have the complete money until like end of November. And the lady was like, oh, no problem. She'll talk to her bosses. And she got back to us and she said they were happy to wait for us till we had the money. Oh, okay. That sounds good. And along the line, the mortgage, the bank, also, we don't bank with Barclays, but Barclays was the only bank that agreed to give us the mortgage. So we were like, okay, no problem. But Barclays also said they wanted to see the money before they gave us the mortgage offer. So we had to play smart around it as we were working everything. Before the by November, by early November, once someone got in touch with us, maybe from the bank or from the mortgage advisor, I can't remember, and said, you know what, can you borrow the money? Can you get the money from somewhere? That the bank just needs to see the money complete, and once they see it, they'll give you your mortgage. And that got us thinking like, okay, how much do we have left to raise? And maybe we had a few couple of thousand. So we thought before we pay any bills or any rent or anything, like my husband pays rent first day of every month, he never misses it. But that particular time, he didn't pay rent until like 3 days later. But I'm sure our landlord understood. And that was because we wanted to print the statement of accounts when the account was still full. And I think that it was only like 2K short or 3K. It was not a lot. And we sent it to the bank. Like, I'm sure they will think, oh, 2K, definitely they can raise 2K. And once we showed them the money, like, okay, this is the 10%, even though we knew that that 10% was virtual money, that money was going to different bills very soon. Because once they take out the bills, the money drops. And once the bank saw it, guys, the next day I got a mail in the post and our mortgage offer, congratulations, they had given us the mortgage just like that. I was like, what? So immediately they told us they had sent it to our solicitor. It was like the next phase was now to exchange contracts, just to seal the deal. In that same time, November, we got the news that the house was ready, because it wasn't ready in October, it was now ready in November, and we could come in to, view the house and everything. I mean, by now we had not even seen the house we were buying. So we came in, we looked around. The guy who was that was showing us around, was showing us how to use things. He was telling us we can get the key by tomorrow, and my husband and I were like, we haven't even paid. This one doesn't know that. We haven't dropped one penny. So I mean, it was just looking straightforward. There was a lot of things going on. I mean, the solicitors, they do a lot. They help you do the land registry. I mean, there's a lot of paperwork underground, but that's where the solicitors come in. So you definitely need a solicitor. But all we had to do was just sign, print things, send it back to them, sign. We didn't really have to do any running around. So that was quite good. So it was now towards the end of the month, and we're like, oh my god, the money is not complete yet. What are we going to do? But we just felt like we could do it. I mean, my husband was just so determined. He said, you know what, we're not going to borrow money from anybody, because we have this whole thing, like, when you're in the UK, everybody's looking up to you. Suddenly there's really no one to look up to except God. And he just said, we're going to make it happen. A glitch occurred at the end of November, which I believe was also a blessing. Our solicitors suddenly came up and said we need to prove our source of funds. I mean, we've given you guys this account since September, and now it's time to exchange contract. At the last minute, you're now asking for source of funds. Yes, it is actually, your solicitors are supposed to know, because I had to do a lot of research that what is going on, why is this sudden glitch at the last minute? And they insisted we should explain this, because yes, I mean, we didn't plan the house, so it wasn't like we had been keeping money in our accounts. We had money in different places. Our money that we had put in different places. I mean, we are investors. I look at myself as an investor. I don't save, I invest. So I'll tell you guys about that in my next video. So we had to withdraw all these investments and put them together. And now the bank didn't have a problem with it. So the solicitors having a problem with it was like, what's going on? I mean, we have a mortgage already. Like, if we were laundering money, we would have paid this money since. But we are working hard to get this money. So why are you suddenly making it difficult? I'll tell you about that in my next video. So for about 2 weeks, they just delayed us, emails going back and forth, explain your source of funds. And we were trying to explain it. They were not satisfied with it. And it almost felt like a discrimination. Like, is it because we are people of color? Sometimes you just be like, wait, is it that hard? Are we not speaking English? We are typing English. Why are you guys not understanding this English? And they decided not to solicit for us anymore, if there's any word like that. And I felt so heartbroken. I was like, oh my god. I mean, things have been going smoothly and easily, apart from the hard work and extra shifts Why is this suddenly happening? But I just went back to God and I said, Lord, you started this thing easily and it has to end easily. So we told our developers, we told the people who were buying from Persimmon that this is what's going on. We have the money. We didn't even have the money yet, but we're almost there. And your solicitors that you recommended to us are making things hard for us. And we explained our source of funds are from here and from here. And they said, oh, they understand. They will get us another solicitor. So they got us another solicitor that was familiar with our source of funds. And guys, in 10 days, like we sent all the documents. For me, I felt like, this will take another 3 months or 2 months. I mean, the last solicitors, it took a while, like September to November, felt like a while. So I kind of took my mind off it that, okay, maybe by next year, we'll move into the house. But in 10 days, they got back to us and they said, oh, completion date, blah, blah, blah. I said, what does this email mean? They said, pay your money, your deposit. So I called my friends that bought houses and I said, what does this mean? And they were like, oh, congrats, completion date means your house is ready. And just like that. Like, I don't know what I was expecting, but it just felt like it shouldn't be so easy. So by then it was like second week in December, we had raised enough money and we sent it to them. They accepted it. They told us, oh, are we happy to exchange contract? We said yes. I even thought we had to go. You know how you do things in Nigeria, everybody is signing. I didn't see the contract. They just said they've exchanged contract on our behalf. And that was done. And they told us we could collect our key by 17th of December. And I was thinking, okay. So yes, along the line, we had to also inform our landlord. So don't forget to do that. If you are renting, you have to inform your landlord at least. And our landlord was just the most amazing person. Like, he was so patient and understanding with us throughout the entire process. And it was just a blessing to us. So we called them on that day. We said, oh, is completion done? What's going on? And they said they just need to confirm the money. And we said, oh, we sent the money like a week ago. And they said, oh, no problem, that they just need the bank to confirm they've received it. And they called us around 4 and said, your house is ready, come and collect the key. And that was that video I made. And we drove all the way, collected our key. Like, wow. It was just unbelievable. So we wanted to move in before Christmas. And that was why I made that video right after. I made the video before or after Christmas anyway. So yeah, guys, that is how we bought our first home. Like, I've given you guys the breakdown. Like, it was that straightforward. All you need is, you know, the house you're buying, or what you have a dream. I think it's just important, you know. You get a mortgage, you get a brochure, they show you around, they show you the houses, you know, you book an appointment, look at the show homes, you get the brochure, you pick which one you want, speak to the mortgage advisor, get a solicitor. Like, it's that straightforward. And the paperwork starts. While that is going on, make sure you've raised enough money. So normally people will raise that money before they start the process. We started the process and then we had to raise the money, but it was just that straightforward. And that is the story of how we bought our first home and how we got our mortgage as first-time buyers. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more. I'll be sharing with you how we raised this money. Yes, I told you we did extra shifts, but a lot of other things came into play, and that was why we had the glitch with the solicitors. I'll share that with you. And yeah, basically, till next time, bye.